Wow, we're back.
Woo.
Come rain, come shine.
Come
We're
rain
right
again
here.
and rain again and rain again. We're here for a Thursday, whether you like it or not. Mother Nature ain't got nothing on us, he says before he got struck by lightning.
Well, I think I'll be moving a little further away while the lightning
Welcome
strikes
to
you.
Thursday edition. Before we go into today's business, I'd like to share some words of wisdom to everybody out there who has tuned in. Please, do you wanna take it or should I?
I don't know. Maybe you might want to be prepared to cover your ear.
No. Listen, if you want to start a day a good way, this is the best way to start it. Always tuning in to the smiles and happy faces of the people who bring you that good start to every single day. Thank you once again. That's a little motivation for all of you who have tuned in for a rainy Thursday in Lagos. And boy, do you need this motivation to get started on this day.
Please check your windscreen wipers, check your headlamps, check your BP,
Everything before
your
you
road
set
rage.
out.
Yes,
Because you need it. I'm going to tell a small story when we settled down about my way to work today. It was something very unexpected, but finally I got here. In any case, this is the Thursday edition for the breakfast show you've been waiting for. Here we are. Welcome. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Now, this is the #1 TV breakfast show that you can find, and we're always with you. You can watch the show live on GOTV, channel 16, or UHF channel 49. You can also stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv. That's our website, or Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, and we also have an app. We tell you guys about it every single day, not just because we want to, but because we want you to download it on your Android phones, and your iOS ones as well. Yeah. So join us there, take us with you everywhere you might be going, even if you're on the way out of Lagos.
My name is Titilayo Oyinso.
My name is Mazino Appeal. Welcome once again. We begin today for a Thursday with art display, and joining us for a mini art exhibition is visual artist Bandejo Abiodun. He will be showing us his unique artwork.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thursday.
Thursday. Rainy Thursday. Have a very interesting story. So,
Okay.
I've been driving for what, 26 years? 27 years of my life.
Wow.
28 years. I've been driving. It keeps getting higher. I've been driving for 28 years.
Okay.
And you can imagine the kind of overconfidence that comes with that. You know, ain't nothing gonna happen. Only had about 2 or 3 incidents my entire almost 3 decades of driving. But today, for the first time, I was shook to the toes.
Wow.
Because I set out early as soon as I saw that the rain was about to fall, so it was really heavy on me as I was heading out. And average speed, but what I didn't see was that when it rains, everywhere is just glass.
Yeah.
Whether it's road or water,
Yeah.
it's glass. And I didn't see this pool of water on the expressway
Yeah.
just after, I think, Sele or Isolo.
Goodness me.
And I ran into it, and it was like running into a wall.
So it sort of...
It hydroplaned the car,
Wow.
and it went sideways.
So you were floating,
I
sort
was
of?
floating, I was sliding on it sideways.
No!
I don't know how, but I managed to right the car back.
Wow.
And the adrenaline, first of all, while I appreciated it, I don't want to experience it again.
Wow.
It was
At
just
night.
me on the way, and I was lucky. If it was any other person by my side or
Yeah.
anybody in front of me,
It was...
I'm sure I would have hit that person. And just getting to the 3rd Axial Road here just before Ilukbridge, no, not Ilukbridge, what do you call this area?
Anthony?
No,
Or
not
where?
Anthony, just here, just the
Oh,
3rd
you're
Axial
talking about
Road.
toll gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw an accident, and I bet you it was the same thing because there was a pool of water just before those two.
Wow.
And I said, don't get too confident. Nah.
Yeah, don't worry.
That was
Your
terrible.
mom's prayers for you every day are
Man,
working.
Not
They're
just my
working.
mom's prayers. Before I leave home every day, I kiss my daughter, say,
Aw.
Daddy loves you to her.
Oh.
And regardless of my status or my state with my wife, I always kiss her and say, I'm out.
Aw.
You know, so I think that also.
Well, hey, you know what? The roads, we've always had these challenges with the roads. We know what's going on, so let's take all the precautions we can before we set out, people. Please. So you have an update on what the weather is going to be like? Let's show you. Hello and good morning. It's time for a news update right here on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Titilayo Oyinso. Thanks for joining us. We are starting with the ongoing 5 days warning strike by resident doctors, which takes effect from today. With that in mind, the federal government is warning members of the National Association of Resident Doctors to shelve their planned warning strike or risk implementation of the no work, no pay policy. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige gave this warning shortly after receiving a letter of notification from the NARD executive on the planned strike. Mr. Ngige described the planned strike as illegal, stating that the doctors should engage in social dialogue rather than embark on warning strike, which is unknown to the law. The doctors say they have presented several issues bordering on patients' doctors' welfare to federal government without getting any invitation for dialogue. Elsewhere, the Kogi state government has approved the establishment of a state university to be sited in Okunland, Kogi West senatorial district of the state. The proposed institution will be the third state-owned university in the state, and the Commissioner for Information and Communications in Kogi State, Kingsley Fonwo, who disclosed this in a statement, said Governor Yahaya Bello had directed the transmission of the right legislative instruments to the Kogi State House of Assembly to ensure the passage of the bill establishing the university. Mr. Fonwo noted that a university in Okunland, which was approved by the state government through its executive council, would address the gap in the educational infrastructure as it relates to higher education in the area. According to him, the decision of the state government was informed by the need to take university education to the doorsteps of the people across 3 senatorial districts in the state.
Ooh, and you're welcome. It's time for What's Up and About, and boy, do we have the story to tell. Tell it.
Hey, MM.
Hi.
Hi, MM.
Hi.
All right.
Story.
Yeah, so one of our producers, connected us with a story that came up online, and the question started this way. It says, what is the worst friendship betrayal experience you've ever had? You know, so some people see betrayal in different ways, but this particular young lady says she was at a pool with her friend, and they were in the changing room, and she was half clad. And being half clad, suddenly her friend is requesting a selfie. And she didn't realize that her friend was still videoing them when, she was still getting dressed, and there was a song that came up, and she started dancing to the song while changing. In a raunchy way. But she didn't realize that she was being recorded. So this is 2 ladies now. This isn't, a guy releasing his girlfriend's video. This isn't that she took a video of herself and posted it. It was another lady. So the betrayal here, of course, comes about when this video eventually leaks and gets to her mother. The story goes along to even talk about her eventually becoming suicidal and her father disowning her. And of course, she was beaten mercilessly as well. So I have so many questions. My first question is, how old is this young lady? And I feel like the fact that she was already edging on suicidal, there were signs of her wanting to commit suicide. Who really, should we really be talking about just the betrayal of the friend? Should we be talking about the way the parents treated the situation?
Responsibility of people around her, or people who are related to her at such an instance.
Exactly.
What would be what would you suggest? How would you suggest that they handle it in this case, especially noting that she's from a very conservative home? That's one thing. And the thing about conservative families is that no explanation.
Exactly.
This happened, Abby. Is this not you? This is how we attend to it. You're either ostracized or this and that. And you don't want to talk about the impact it has on the human mentality, on the individual's mentality, because it can drive you to those kind of thoughts, like she noted. But there are very many things to unpack here. First off, I believe one thing about phones, cameras, and your nakedness, never, even your own self,
Not even by error.
By error, don't even do it. Don't do it. There are instances of people, Kim Kardashian, for instance, her daughter was making a video inside of her living area while she was getting perhaps dressed and stuff like that. Those are the kinds of mistakes that could happen. So with my daughter now, she has those tendencies to actually make recordings at home because she calls it her documentary. I'm always very careful, and I tell her the places that she can do those. Bedrooms are not one of those places.
Sure. I'm wondering, what would your response have been if you had seen such a video of a relative, let's say a sister?
Okay, I'm going to hinge on the responsibility from the parents, right, and how they handled the situation. I'm not going to say they were a bit too irrational about it, because you can't tell parents how to respond, or you can't tell people how to respond to situations like this. It's also possible that the father, for him to have taken that drastic measure, could have somewhat also felt somewhat betrayed. That this is he was seeing his daughter in another light.
Yeah.
That's never seen her before.
Sure.
And to be honest, we have different sides of ourselves, which we, expose, or which we show to people around us, right? Sure. I think that action they took was too drastic.
Yeah.
But eventually, the mother made up for it when she eventually found out the truth. She, still supported the daughter by, getting the friend arrested after they found out that it was actually the friend who betrayed her.
Deliberate, by the way. She actually gave it to another
Yes, she did, yeah.
To actually post
it, yes.
It was really deliberate. Be careful who your friends are out there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, your how did she put it?
What's your worst friendship betrayal?
Man, there are many.
Well, really?
Hey. They're very many.
I don't know if I've let people get that close to actually betray me that much. I've sort of put up a wall, an imaginary wall, where I just don't let people get that
into that
far.
space.
You can only be betrayed by someone familiar.
Yeah.
And very often it's very, very it's not formal or anything.
Like,
it's just stuff that are regular and normal that you have entrusted to that person. That now my guy, who's your guy type of thing.
Yeah.
By the time they perhaps become a bit over excited and let that kind of material outside, it's a betrayal.
Yeah.
And in my case, that kind of a thing has happened before, and it ruined friendships, not between I and that person, but I and other friends and even relatives as well. But guess what? I forgive, and that person is still my friend. But the people around that
will never forget.
Sometimes forgiving and forgetting can also be risky, because you've already seen the writing on the wall. You know this is how this person is. It just feels like you're setting yourself up for another betrayal at some point.
There are three folds: forgive, forget,
and then
learn.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
think
Fantastic.
so. Forgetting, I think you need to be reminded of that betrayal, because I feel that it also helps you to treat your future relationships better. It gives you wisdom on how to handle your relationships as you get along. So yes, you can forgive, but do not forget. Then you also know, it also helps you to also learn how to protect your space and people that you let into your space. It doesn't mean that you have to be my friend because I've forgiven you. I've forgiven you, we're fine. We're good where we are. We don't have to be, friends anymore.
The learning.
And that's the learning, yes. So, it just helps us.
And even if you trust these people, as soon as she saw that this babe was taking that, Omo, you go delete them. If not, we are not living this change.
But then
you know
that we always, when it comes to relationships, we pay more attention to the red flags than in friendships. There are also red flags in friendships. But because friendships are sort of catered to as being casual. She's my friend. Like, she's my friend. She's my person. Not going to do this. But, darling, the red flags are there. Wow. You're not going to see them, but they are there. You just have to open your eyes to them. But then again, well, we're human beings. You just never see some of these things coming.
Now, in terms of punishing this young girl, they really went far, in my opinion, with the punishment. I feel like the punishment was already the amount of shame she was going through.
Exactly.
The mental state she was in, she was already broken down to the smallest version of herself, exposed. Adding and piling on top of that was not in the best interest of that child. I'm saying child now because it sounds like a very young lady. And I'm just like, please, if you are a parent out there, that God forbid something like this happens in your space, don't disown that child. You might just be giving in to forces that had negative plans for your child.
Say that to fanatic religious people.
Sometimes the psychological effect that these things always have on the child. I know that we as parents can be a bit too, all up in our space, all up in our world that, but
honestly. Please tell us what you think. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and share your thoughts on social media. We'll be checking them out. Let's take a quick break then, shall we?
And you're welcome back. It's time for our paper review this morning. And with us, we have social commentator Prince Francis Chilaka in the studio with us. You are welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. Yes, now we have quite a few interesting headlines on the papers this morning. If we start with the Punch, it says here, PDP Labour Party kick as U.S. Secretary of State calls Tinubu, and U.S. promises continued comprehensive security, economic cooperation, and so on. There are quite a few other really interesting headlines, but the one that struck me was the one at the bottom. It says here, bottom center, U.S. demands justice for slain consulate officials. And I thought we should throw that to you to shed more light on what the situation could be presently.
Every nation has the backing, they have the protection of the lives and properties of the citizens. And we all know the way America treats her citizens. She treats them like they would treat any other thing. They would actually do anything to protect the lives and properties of their citizens, unlike what is happening in our country. It's unfortunate that what we also, as a joke, has suddenly become, or is becoming a way of life. It's not just, just not the Americans that were slain. A few days back, a family was wiped out in Nasarawa State. About 28 persons were murdered. So this thing has become a daily occurrence, and every day you wake up, you must prepare your mind to hear somebody has been killed, people have been killed. So I think it's really failure of this administration, this outgoing administration, in being able to handle security issues. It's complete, total failure, because if the lives of the citizens are not protected, then who are you ruling?
Very true.
There's much more. I'm going to come back to that in another headline from another paper. But first, before we get there, let's talk about the Daily Trust and this headline here. FG to replace striking doctors with ad hoc staff. Our demands must be met. Patients grown, activities grounded in hospitals. The Association of Doctors had come out to say that they're going to give a 2-week warning strike. We discussed this on Tuesday, but we also noted the fact that this is something that continues to reoccur in the Nigerian system. You're talking about the outgoing government and how they have failed in terms of securing lives. We're also talking about lives here. And to be specific, they are saying that they're going to replace these doctors now. It might seem like a threat. I don't know. Am I correct?
Where are they going to get these doctors from?
That was
Are they going to import them from the moon? Maybe what they're looking at is bringing in coppers who are still in school.
Inexperienced.
Totally inexperienced. You see, this whole thing about doctors and their remunerations and all of that, it cuts across board. And I keep saying that we need to sit down as a people and define what we want. You can't have a political class that is earning so much at the detriment of other citizens, at the detriment of other professions. We have gradually turned politics into a profession in Nigeria. But it's a profession you enter without certificate, without going to school. You just jump in, you have money and all of that, you just jump in.
But Prince, the government is also trying to halt the immigration of doctors outside of Nigeria. Doesn't that seem like it's trying to preserve its own at that point?
How do you preserve your own when the condition of service is not favorable? The minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000. And a man that has 3 kids or 4 kids, how does he survive? How much do your senators earn? How much do your governors earn? Check all the state governors. They are owing salaries. Some 40 months, some 12 months, some 30 months. How many governors is being owed a salary? And as they're leaving office, they're all preparing jumbo packets for themselves. So what kind of country do we have?
So we heard that, we heard during the news bulletin that strikes are not of the law. I would like to hear your view on that.
That's very laughable because it's their fundamental human right. It is my right to go on strike, to be able to express myself. If a condition of service is not favorable, you don't expect me to go to war. You expect me to, challenge the system. And the only way people can challenge the system is by going on strike. It's unfortunate that the government, with the Minister of Labor, Ngige, and his co-minister, Festus Keyamo, have not thought out a way of negotiating, discussing with people, with labor. You need to learn that art. You can't always be waving the big stick. You need to find out what do they want. How do we come in between? How do we meet at what point do we meet to resolve a crisis? Now you're talking about ad hoc staff. I don't think any Nigerian would definitely go to a hospital run by ad hoc staff. Nobody. In 2011 or so, I almost lost my son due to strike. I had to carry this boy in a car for about 8 hours looking for a hospital that has semblance of what you had at last then.
I can imagine how that makes it
So
very
I don't
personal for
understand.
you.
Every now and then there's a strike, and government does not have a solution. But yes, ministers are being paid very well. Political aides are being paid very well. So where do we stand?
Well, we can't exhaust that.
Yes,
we'll have to
you
move
can't.
on to another headline.
And
Titi, what do
on
you
the
have?
Guardian, it sort of, buttresses the points we're trying to make just now. There's a battle ongoing in states as 18 ministers are lobbying to retain a portfolio. That's what we have on the cover of the Guardian. We also have here, telcos give banks ultimatum on USDD debt as presidency steps in. We also have this one. Hoodlums take over failed Oshodi-Mushin Link Road. Quite a few headlines there.
Talking about the outgoing ministers that are lobbying, it is very, very shameful of them to do that. We must have a system that allows new persons, fresh bloods, to come into a system. You've been a minister for some 8 years, some 4 years. What are your achievements? What have you achieved? What can you say that you have done to better the lives of ordinary Nigerians? Let's start from there. You need to be able to outline the things you have done. Then it is when you pass an exam that you begin to say you want to be promoted. But if we have insecurity, we have unemployment, like we read, you have hoodlums all over the place. You have people sleeping under the bridges. And no minister should be thinking of...
But there's a case to be made for continuity, isn't there?
Continuity after how many years? There is no Nigerian that is better off right now. So anybody talking about continuity, in what direction are you looking at the continuity from? What do you want to continue from? Is it the daily killing of Nigerians? Is it the fact that universities were on strike for about 8 months? Is it the fact that doctors are about going on strike? Is it the fact that Nigerians do not have dignity in labor? How much is a bag of rice today? So what continuity are we talking about?
Well, Prince,
Fresh blood may just do us well in some of those
there's a lot
seats.
that we would have loved to really touch on. We didn't touch on the Nation newspaper, expect institutional reforms, and we promises Nigerians, and EFCC writes outgoing governors. But still, I'm sure that you can grab a copy of these papers and perhaps maybe let us know what your opinion is. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Prince, it is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Very, very interesting analysis there, and we totally enjoyed that. We hope that you come again next time.
I'll try.
All right.
All right, now, what are we doing next now?
Oh, there's quite a bit happening in the kitchen. MM is standing by with our chef.
Yes, we are. Welcome to the kitchen, guys. With me is Chef John. And this morning, he is taking us on a ride to, not exactly sure what planet, but we'll find out in a bit. He is making chickpeas vegetable stir-fry.
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's practically vegetarian dish that we'll be giving out today. Very healthy meal, and it's very good for you to take at this time of the day. So it's really very good that you enjoy it.
And then talking about vegetables, for those of you who are constantly dealing with constipation, I really hope you're paying attention because, oh, look at what I did there. All right, because, I mean, this is a meal for you. Let's talk about the ingredients for our chickpeas vegetarian stir fry.
Okay, well, for the chickpeas vegetarian stir fry, here we have the zucchini. It's very good for you in losing weight. Here you also have the parsley. I'll be using it to garnish and also to add to some dish. These are the main ingredients, which is the chickpeas, a perfect replacement for your protein because it has a lot of it and it's a very perfect replacement for protein. So here we have the olive oil, Here we have the onions, the scotch bonnet, we have the bell peppers. So I just make it option of red, green, and yellow. I always like my food when it's been colorful. No.
Okay.
You also have the carrot. No, carrot's very good for your eyesight.
For your eyes.
Yeah. So yeah, I have my seasoning. I have the sea salt.
Okay.
I have the oregano, the black pepper crush, and the white pepper. So I also have the garlic. I've started just working on it, and I'll be doing some mixture, and before you know it, it will become a very nice and...
Watching you specifically talk about what the nutritional benefits for some of these ingredients are amazing. It just, it's a reminder of how much we underestimate our vegetables because they are very rich in nutrients. And every single ingredient on this table has something that would definitely enrich your body. Now, so what are we starting with?
Well, right now, I will start by steaming my carrot and the
Okay.
just to steam it a bit, also to boil my chickpeas so that I get the texture of it a bit soft.
Okay.
And thereafter, I'll come back to saute the vegetable and add to it.
All right.
So
Seems like a
it's
pretty
very
easy
simple,
recipe,
very simple way.
right? Very easy.
Probably I can easily say it's just something you can do fast food, maybe when you are ready, just quickly combine them together. I know vegetable has the appropriate time.
Yes, exactly.
So you can't cook them for so long, just to steam it, and that's when you still have all the nutrients
in it, yeah. It's very
So it's
important not to,
it's
not something you cook for so long. I am very interested in the zucchini, by the way, because, I've never had zucchini before.
Wow.
Never had it before. So I'm pretty excited because I'm definitely going to look first off, see what it's like and how it's being used, right?
Do you know a lot of people mix it up with cucumber? Sometimes when
you see, you think it's cucumber,
you say,
right?
Oh, is it cucumber or something? But that's why we decided to get the big one so that to make a very great difference, so people will able to differentiate the two and to know that it's not the cucumber.
Okay, great stuff happening here in the kitchen. Pretty excited about this morning's recipe. With me is Chef John, and we are making chickpeas vegetarian stir fry, right?
You got it.
Right now we are working on our zucchini, and we're just going to begin prepping things up here in the kitchen. We'll go on a quick break now, people. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
What else is a Thursday except artsy? And today it's time for arts display, and here with us we have, for an art exhibition, visual artist Badija Abiodun. Now he'll be showing us and telling us more about some of his very unique pieces, such as what we have here in the studio. You are welcome, Mr. Badija. Good to have you here. Now, I've noticed some of your painting, and I want to say that exquisite. Absolutely love it.
Thank you so much.
I love art that you can not only just see, but almost feel. And to me, when something is raised from its form out of paper or out of, it gives me some sort of 3D experience when I'm looking at it. And that's exactly what your art is like.
Well,
but first off, let's know about you, how long you've been painting or doing this specific kind of art, and what other forms of art do you express?
No, thank you. My name is Abiodun Badija. I'm an artist, professionally a painter. I started when I was very young, and I can't say how many years. It's this instinct you have in you, and you have to build over time. So which I have done. So it is when I grew, I thought at least I can do it professionally. That I took it.
So you self-taught, or did you have to go to an institution?
Yeah, I definitely attended the Federal College of Education, Abeokuta.
Okay.
So, and I majored in painting.
Oh, nice.
So after having gone through academic, the formal education, I have to enroll under a tutorship of a particular master as well. I spent over 2-3 years there.
Nice.
So I started working on my own professionally.
Did you also take that ahead? Did you also become perhaps maybe a lecturer or something?
Really, I took up teaching profession for some times because every artist will have a way of impacting knowledge into others. So I took it up, but I felt this thing is really affecting the production in the studio. So I have to stop and face it squarely. Okay,
well, let's face squarely one of your artwork here. Let's talk about that artwork we have there in the space. Now, I can see Makoko there, am I correct?
Yes.
What's the theme for that one?
Yeah, really. The reason we come up with, as an artist, I believe art itself is a voice. So, and it has to pass across a particular messages. It's either it teaches people what to know about the environment or to keep record. So purposely, because this thing might not be there in the nearest future.
Yeah, exactly.
So an artwork will live over time. So to tell you that this is what, this has been there in the past, or it might
like
change.
Cataloging one's life or times and stuff.
I can say, well, it depends on how it is properly kept. Art can stay over 100 of years if it is properly.
So how do you feel when you see these places that give you inspiration go down under? For instance, Makoko, you did say yourself that it might not be there in a little while. How does it make you as an artist feel that we're destroying? Does it make you feel like we're destroying things that are very memorable, things that should be part of our identity?
You know, life, involvement is, you know, definitely there will be change.
True.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it might be, it's either they add to it or it is taken away completely. So that is the reason we have to keep record of where. So like Makoko, when I visited the place, I had little interaction with people living around the place. And I felt like, wow, it is quite amazing to document this area.
Yeah.
Because really, they have their own impact when it comes to the, I think, economic impact.
Yeah.
They are major fishermen.
Yeah.
And their means of movement from one place to the other is all about canoe.
Yeah,
you know,
very interesting.
When we use car on the road, they use canoe, and that's part of their life.
Yeah,
so, okay.
Let's move on and talk about another painting where it has to do with, well, land and road. And you've got two paintings here. One is of a street in Lagos.
Yes.
Which I'm guessing was similarly inspired by some place that you have been.
Yeah, I got that place from Mushin side.
Mushin, okay.
Yes.
And then the other one, which when I saw it, I thought it was Ajegunle, because it looked like, is it Boundary Road or is it MPA or something like that? I don't know, from my experience.
Yeah, but, you know, there's a way that when you get, there's a way we have relationship when you get to the street, you get around that, you feel like, oh.
I've been here before.
Yeah, that's it. But this particular one, you know, I told you, art has, every artwork must have a message we are trying to pass across. Like this one I got from Mushin, you know, really, first thing you look, when you are, as an artist, I look at the concept, the message, the color concept as well, and the aesthetic part of it. Yeah. That's the beauty. So the fact is just this. If your people came from this area, you know, and they have found themselves in area like Lekki, Victoria
highbrow area.
And when looking at this, take them back to their roots. Yeah. They feel like, wow. So that's the way, just telling them that, see, these are your roots. But the fact is just this. I took it when it was after the rain.
Yeah, I can see that.
You see some reflections. Yes. So, but the rain part of it is the message and the beauty I was trying to infuse in that painting.
I also see that most of your painting kind of have a chromatic, you know, black and white nature to it. Am I correct? Is that intentional?
Yes, very, very intentional. Okay. You know, as an artist, you need to give yourself a brand. Yeah. So I tend to work through with a monochromatic kind of. So then I try as much manage to add some little colors just to complement the monochrome. Yes.
I can see that.
So
there's a little red in each of them.
So when you see this, you have seen Badijo.
Yeah, so that's...
So yes, just to get my
I also noticed that your expressions are, you use it's raised out of the what do you call the canvas?
The canvas, yes.
So that's what that's
oil?
Yeah,
we call it impastoria painting. That's an impasto. That's the application of color on the surface.
Okay. So it's not just painted on, it's also
it depends on, you know, every artist art, you have what inspires you as an artist. So me personally, I love seeing my surface in a quartz form. So it's either I allow my color to be raised out of the canvas. So that's what I enjoy in the painting.
I enjoy it too.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about price, man. How much do these paintings go for if I was going to perhaps maybe take one home? What would that set me back?
You know, I as an artist, you don't just determine your price. You have to work over time, and besides,
it's an emotional thing.
Yeah, you still it is the art environment, the art enthusiast, the curator, and the gallery. So it has to do with the acceptance of those who that will determine what the price looks like. So personally,
well, that's a beautiful one I'm looking at there. The umbrellas that I showed you from before.
Yes, yes.
You have a thing for streets. You have a thing for passages and places, and
that is Zaligo.
These are beautiful works. Very, very, very beautiful work. Are we looking at an exhibition anytime soon?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're having a solo exhibition before end of the year.
Nice. This is beautiful. Oh, look at that. I feel like frolicking in the grass. That's beautiful. Well, these are plenty to feast the eyes on, and I'm sure that maybe one of these days I'll come over to your studio and perhaps maybe...
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you so much.
I'm thinking, but it's fantastic artwork. Just in case you're wondering who the artist is, it's Mr. Badijo Abiodun here in the studio with us with this very unique form of painting, and I think that you guys should actually take his social media, Instagram down, and perhaps maybe visit it and see most of the beautiful work that you have here. Well, that's grand. Good. Thank you very much for coming. Do stay, because we've got more coming your way, especially inside the kitchen where a different kind of art is happening, and the painters, or let's say the chef and our host, are getting it down. Please, what's happening in there so far?
Mazino, you already know it.
I'm getting artsy too.
Our chef is the artist, and this are his art work, or art pieces that he's, going to put together at the end of the show. Right with me is Chef John, and we are making, he is making chickpeas vegetarian stir-fry.
Yes, you can see I'm actually on with the prep. I'm trying to get all the prep done.
So let's run through the ingredients one more time.
Okay, with me here, I already have the chickpeas, ball.
Okay.
So I also
what are you doing with the chickpeas?
No, I just want to get it boiled.
Okay.
So it has to be tender.
Okay.
So also the vegetable, just add to it. Just steam it a bit, then strain it out. Then I now go right away to saute it.
Okay.
All the way
So I see in the pot there's chickpeas, zucchini, and carrots in there, and they've all been chopped. How long is that going to cook for?
No, actually, the chickpeas have been cooking for like 15 to 10 minutes before I added the vegetable to it.
Okay.
So for the vegetable, it's just about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, that's not going to take long.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you add anything to the water?
No, just the sea salt.
Just the sea salt to give it a bit of taste.
And that's all.
Okay, I see that we're already working our red bell peppers and our yellow bell peppers as well. Let's talk about the spices we're using for this recipe.
Okay, for the spice, actually, this is actually an homemade spice made through a friend of mine, Frank. So I said earlier about the oregano. We have oregano, the black pepper. So this is the crushed one.
Okay.
So we have the white pepper also. So it helps to add flavor to the food, actually.
Okay.
And most times I like using the kosher salt.
Okay.
Because other salt is being processed, so I didn't know what they add to it.
Okay.
And also the same thing goes to my spice too. So I like having my spice being prepared and add a lot of herbs to it, blend together.
Okay.
That's what makes these herbs. And without the MSG, nothing like preservative and no other. It's just a kind of combination
Everything
of herbs.
is natural.
It's natural. It's
Fantastic.
natural. So yeah,
that's how we get the best from our, for our health, basically, because all of this is going into our health, and then it's not difficult to process.
Exactly.
Right. We also have our green bell peppers here that's about to be chopped. We have carrots, pepper, onions, parsley, garlic, and onions, and of course our olive oil. Things are coming up really nicely here in the kitchen, and of course we're still prepping up, but we have to go on a quick break now, people. It is the top of the hour. There's still so much to come, people. Stay with us.
Well, it's great to have you back on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back. Second hour here. Trust you guys had a first hour that was out of this world. Let's do it again.
There's quite a bit we have in store for you for the next 45 minutes, so you need to stay right there.
Yes, and of course, I trust you stay glued to your screens because, hey, first off, you chose to. Thank you very much. And the show is only just getting started, even if it's into the second hour.
And guess what? We have a chef in the kitchen who is on fire. Yes,
He's
sir.
on fire. Yeah, so yeah, he's prepping our veggies, ready to, what are we working on right now? Pepper.
Yeah, this is the Scotch bonnet. So
Okay.
I always like this the rainy season. So I just want something spice so that you'll be able to enjoy the flavor, the aroma.
From the stir fry.
So
when
something
it's
a little
ready.
bit hot, not just you eating the vegetable and you want something hot at this rainy season. So
Okay.
I just have to have some Scotch bonnet to eat.
Chef
Yes, sir.
John, obviously in his elements. Let's go.
You'll be feeling that tomorrow when you go to the bathroom, but it's okay.
Wow.
Listen out there. My name is, of course, Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You can, of course, watch the show live on GOTV. You'll find us at channel 16 and UHF channel 49.
Yes, indeed. And you can also stream the show live, tvcentertainment.tv, and on Facebook at TVC Connect across all social media platforms. That's what we are.
We have an app available for you to download as well. Please make sure you try out for Android or iOS, and we'll have that app. You'll have that app right there in the
All
palm
available.
of your hand.
Welcome
Yeah.
back. And we never know how lucky we are setting out early every single day to get to work because we never get to see that horrendous traffic that people always talk about. And today's one might come your way extra spicy. That's because there was a communication put out about the closure of one of yet another bridge in Lagos leading into the island.
That's the Ijora Olokpa
Ijora Olokpa Bridge. Recently, for the past more than 6 months, we've had the Akpomo Bridge closed, so people have diverted and used the Ijora Olokpa Bridge to make a U-turn back into the island.
Yeah.
But it's about to get worse because people are already complaining on groups right now. People are asking, please, what's the road like?
What's
going
alternative
on?
routes as
Yeah.
well?
Because it seems that there's now even more a limited access into the island.
So if, for instance, you're coming from Ijora and you go through, or you come from Costain, you go through Ijora, and then you try to get onto the island, you're diverted away from Akpobo to go and do that U-turn and then come back, right? So now that bridge, I believe this is the bridge that goes from
This bridge that descends
Ijora.
into that U-turn. There's a
Okay,
huge
the
pothole.
yes.
Yes, just after the bridge. It's
So
actually a bridge, but we never know that it's a bridge.
It's a bridge because it's
actually
under.
suspended
But it's
over
under, yeah.
what is the little estuary or lake that has the National Theatre on the side.
Yes.
So I would never understand why I feel like sometimes in cases like this, because the bridge has been shut down because of the
Maintenance.
damage caused by vandals, actually.
That's what they. That's what,
The
saying.
report
Yeah.
is saying.
Yeah.
And it's also this. We've also had similar cases with the one of the train stations or train tracks that was recently vandalized by vandals, and a few other government properties that have been vandalized. And I keep wondering and I keep
you
asking,
see,
why do we do
thing is,
this
yes,
to ourselves?
You might put the blame on vandals, but initially it's a case of maintenance because there was a sinkhole on that portion of the bridge, which they perhaps took advantage of eventually and vandalized. But that sinkhole was absolutely natural, and that sinkhole seems like something that could have been averted if there was
They could have addressed it, yeah.
maintenance.
And the pressure on that road has increased substantially.
Over the past year
so
and a half.
meaning that the degradation would have been a lot worse by now anyway. But let's tell you what the weather is saying at this point, and we'll be back after.
Thanks for staying with us. It is time for us to review our book for today. And it is titled Dio Ice's Ultimate Guide for MCs and Events Hosts. And of course, the author, Okeshi Temidayo, is here with us on the couch. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How about you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Let's get right into it. So, in your book here, this book is basically for MCs and events hosts. And here you also, okay, you know what? Explain to us what's the difference between an MC and an event host.
Basically, an MC and event host, there's not much difference.
Okay.
It's just the name change. So some people just tell you they'd rather you call them an event host. Some people will tell you they'd rather you call them an MC. So basically they are the same. They're the same field. Where we have issues most time, it's probably when people tell you, oh, no, I'm a comedian, I'm not an MC. And some people tell you, oh, I am an MC, I'm not a comedian.
Okay, yeah. All right. Now let's look at knowing your style as an MC. Because you know, because you're, I mean, I know we're going to go into the different events that, you know, MCs cater to. Some cater to weddings and some cater to corporate events.
Yeah.
Now, knowing your style, you highlighted that here in your book. Talk to us more about that.
Okay, so basically, as an MC, one of the first thing you need to do is to understand and know your audience.
Okay.
You need to know as an MC, everybody won't work for you. Targeting the whole market might be a lot of work. You know, of course, you should be versatile. You should be able to anchor any type of event that comes your way. But naturally, some type of, probably because of your personality, because of your creativity, a particular type of event will keep coming to you. You know, so I think it's only fair and it only makes sense to keep watering the garden you benefit from. So imagine I get more of wedding events and I put less focus on that and I keep focusing on corporate jobs. And I keep focusing, oh, I want corporate and I mean, the more time you do that, at the end of the day, you even find out that even the corporate and the weddings, you're not getting any. You know, and you can even make yourself a voice in any industry. It could be, I have some friends that do just kiddies events. And when someone contacts you and tell you, oh, we need an MC that will do kiddies events, you know, I'll just tell them naturally. I'll tell them, oh, this person is very, and they'll give you their price. And most times, it might even be the same thing or much more than even what you charge for a corporate or a wedding event. So I think at the end of the day, it all boils down to building a reputable brand and making yourself a voice wherever you find yourself.
You've been doing this for over 7 years.
Yeah,
this
I think
is your
this is the 8th year.
year. And you've done over, what, 500
yes,
events?
yes, more or
How
less.
have you been able to manage families and friends?
Oh, yeah. You know, for family and friends, like I said in my book, you know, they are the lifeblood, but you shouldn't rely on family and friends, especially as a startup. You will agree with me that as a business person, as an entrepreneur, if you've ever done any business or tried to sell anything at all, most of the people around you might not really support you. You know, it's only when they see the recognition coming from outside or when they see people celebrating you from outside. I've had events where my friends didn't even know, probably the planner will contact me. So they just tell the planner, oh, give us a very good MC. They know I do MC, right? They just tell the planner, give us a very good MC. And the planner comes back to me. And the planner tell them, oh, this is what Dio charges. And they will now come and say, oh, Dio, our planner said we should go with you. And I'm like, so why didn't you
Contact you
contact
at
me
first?
initially?
Yeah,
So
because
most times, people are always in a dilemma, you know, because they want to guilt trip you. They want to tell you, oh, I'm this, I'm your cousin, I'm your brother, I'm your this. But the truth is, I found out with my experience on the job that when people really have the money to pay, they might not come to you. They rather go to a stranger. In fact, most people will request for a number of someone from you that they I think it's just life generally. You know, it just happens. They don't really value you, you know. So for me, my price is fixed unless I know, or maybe we have a very special type of relationship. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll break the protocol, or I'll do it for free, or I'll do it as a gift for you. But you can't just possibly keep doing that for everyone, especially if this is all you do. You know?
I agree with you. Now let's talk about how to get new clients. How do you get new clients? So for after every job, is there like a break, like a hiatus, like a long break, or how does it work for you? Here you talked about how penetrating the markets or penetrating new markets as an MC. Let's talk more about that.
All right, so I mean, of course, my background as an advert person, what everyone will tell you is how to get new clients is the first thing, one of the first things you need to do is to have a good product. You know, so people will tell you.
That's in your delivery.
Yes, so people will tell you, oh, you can do a very good advert, you can deceive people to buy something once, but you can't fool them twice.
Yeah.
You know, so getting new clients is first in your delivery. You know, so you need to make sure, because most times you might even feel you are delivering. You might feel you're doing good at it, you know, but you would know when you don't get called back that there's an issue somewhere. You know, so
what do you do?
So you might have to learn, you might have to intern, you might have to pay, you know, because people feel, oh, it's not something I need to pay to learn or something I need a coach for. But you might have you might have to look for the people around you doing extremely well. You either intern with them, you'll pay for their coaching classes, or you just go out with them. So you might need to own your skills. You know, so delivery, you need to deliver to get new clients. You need to do a lot of adverts, you know, because even the people around you might be doing an event, and because their mind is occupied, they might not be thinking about
of you,
and about, they can just see your post somewhere,
and
probably on a blog,
them.
and it triggers that, oh, that's true. This guy is, and so delivering your products, adverts, those are the two key. I mentioned a lot of
Yes,
elements
you
in the book.
actually did. There's something here that sort of resonated with me, and that is getting new clients through planners.
Planners, yeah.
Because we know event planners could have like their tight circle. They have the people they work with.
Yes.
And how do you break through that?
Okay, you know, based on my experience over the years, I've been able to write this book in such a way that any type of MC, any startup MC, any struggling MC will always find something they need or something they are going through, because it's a year. So basically, I wrote a whole chapter about planners.
Yes, you did.
How to deal with them, how to handle them,
How to make them your friends.
How to make them your friends, how to let them go. Because I mean, planners are the lifeblood of any event, right? A planner can make or mar you.
True.
You can have, I mean, I have a planner that gives me like 40-60% of my jobs every year.
Wow.
You know, so you know, imagine having 3 or 5 of that kind of person, and you also have some people that they just don't like you. There's nothing you can do. In fact, when clients tell them this is what we want, they just look for a way to.
You're obviously not a rookie at all in this job.
Oh, no,
you are quite a professional, and it tells even in the way that you talk about it. But you know what? People should go and get your book and read about it. So if you're an MC or you're an aspiring MC or event host, well, here's a guide for you. Thank you so much, Dayo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Doing this.
Thank you so much.
All right, people. We have to go on a quick break now, people. We have a musical performance coming up next. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
That was an interesting fact right there.
Yeah.
Rainwater contains vitamin B12. So, hey, stand under the rain today.
Okay.
But not for more than 5 minutes, please. Don't catch cold. We have a guest on the couch. Finally, we get to meet Queen Tiwa.
Yay! She's also known as Raimi Joy Mujisola, and of course today she is joining us. She'll be talking about her experience at the Miss Intercontinental pageant, which held in Egypt.
Yes,
you
sir.
are welcome, and you look even better in person.
Yes,
Thank
so.
you.
Yes, I've scoured through your entire pages, your Instagram page.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I went right down to the very bottom.
Oh my God.
But don't worry, he's not a stalker.
I'm not too sure. I'm joking.
Okay.
But talk to us about the experience. How was it in Egypt?
Okay. It was a very, very fun experience, and I would do that over and over and over again. It was really nice. You know, that was my first international pageant, and I did not regret a moment.
Oh.
It was really fabulous.
What about the other ladies? Was there any, like, cat fights or, anger or angst amongst the ladies? I hear that because of the language barrier, sometimes some ladies can't communicate so well, so they just, backbite against each other.
Funny enough, I did not notice that with the other continents. I only noticed that with African continents.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I'm not supposed to wrath at them like this, but that is what I noticed.
Wow.
I noticed the cold shoulders more from the African girls than the other continents. Not, I don't mean
But
that.
how did you address
sure.
that challenge? What did you do to make everybody comfortable? Or did you just let it be?
I feel like everybody was my friend because
Nice.
I was just dancing and having a good time.
I can
That's what we were taught to do, to have a good time before the last few days, which was the more serious days. So I was just having a good time. I was dancing and everybody loved me. So I don't know. I really don't know.
So let's talk about the mantle. Miss Intercontinental Africa. What does that mean for you? What is expected of you? What should we be looking out for?
Okay, this means a lot to me because I've been, how will I put it? I've been looking at this from afar for like 2 years. to 3 years ago, and it's finally here, and I got it. So it means a lot. It means a lot to me, and I'm not going to take it for granted. There's so many things I would love to do with it, which it's already on the plan. I'm already doing it. So
I actually, I have to mention that we have loads of beauty queens pop onto the show.
Yeah.
But most of the time they have their wigs on and the like. But you decided to go for an international pageant with a low cut. Do you think this helped you stand out? Or maybe look more African? What do you think?
Natural, actually.
yes, definitely. I knew it will help me stand out very, very well, because in my interview, the first thing they asked me was, you know you're unique, right? I was like, yes. They were like, why the low cut? And I was like, I just feel like this is me. I don't want anything too much. I just love it this way.
Yeah.
You look very comfortable in it. You look,
absolutely.
very
I've been
relaxed
looking at all
in
the
it.
pictures going on TV, and
Yeah.
most of them have you spotting that very natural look and everything, and you're so confident. And like I said, after researching through your entire Instagram page, it's just you, and I can see that coming forth now. And I also discovered something very unique about her.
Okay.
She's a great dancer.
Oh,
she
she
can bust
mentioned
a
dance. She mentioned dance earlier on. But what sort of dance are we talking about, and how far are you going to take dance?
Exactly.
Okay, dancing is something that has always been in me. My mom was a dancer.
Oh, really?
Yes, a cultural dancer. Nice. And while growing up, I do love how to dance. I used to love how to dance. I even went to a dance school.
Oh, okay.
Yes, before I got admission into the University of Port Harcourt, I went through a dance school, and I just love dancing. Dancing is my first love.
Nice.
It's my first love. Anyone that knows me knows I love dancing, and
that's an image of you dancing
Exactly.
there.
There you go. She
But
can't do without it.
you know what would be even better?
What would be better?
What would be even better is if you danced for us now.
oh my God.
Are you calling her out?
But my producers would probably finish me if I made her do
No.
this.
I'll save you. Not now. Don't worry.
I asked you a little earlier where you want to take dance to your
Is
pet
it something
project.
you want to go
Yes,
professional with?
yes. Obviously, my pet project is going to be about something that is very close to my heart, which is dancing, and that is what I want to do. I want to go to different states in Nigeria, go to different countries in Africa, use dance as a channel to reach out to people, to do my charity work and all that, and most likely give scholarship to kids. And
Nice.
I'm most likely focusing on children because they have a very, very special place in my heart. So
That's nice.
yes, so
The Miss Intercontinental contest pageant is over now, but do you have backing, and do you have international backing from the buddies that perhaps were involved in this contest?
yes, of course, I would have backings. You said backings, right?
Yeah.
Yes, of course
Support
I
on
do.
your project support. Yeah,
Yes,
very much.
yes, I have support from them.
All right, fantastic. We can't wait to see what you eventually come up with. But you mentioned children between the age of what and what? Did
Okay,
you focus?
children between the ages of you can see at the ages of 4 dancing.
Yeah.
From 4 to 13, 14.
Right, fantastic.
Yes.
All right. So honestly, we have to see you dance.
Well, which one do you want to do?
What?
I don't know. Let's decide.
What? I don't know. Okay, so you mentioned that your mom's a cultural dancer.
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
do you have a favorite dance?
I dance cultural dance. I dance hip hop. I
That's
dance
urban. Do you do that one?
Which one?
Okay, that's
What?
Nigeria.
Wow. Unavailable.
Hey,
Unavailable.
or unavailable. Hey.
Wow. Just
Hey.
wow. Mazino,
Can you
what
do that?
just
Can you do
happened?
that?
Oh my
Unavailable.
God.
Can you do that?
Yes,
Let's make it
Let's
stand
do
up.
it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Let me help you up.
All right.
All right. Hey, do we have the
All
music?
right. Do we have music?
Wait, am I
have the
going to do
music.
this alone?
Okay.
Titi,
now,
join me.
wow, Mazino, we have to fumble on this together. We have to fumble
no,
together.
you guys.
Fumble together.
Let me.
All right, let's give you the shot.
Okay.
Let's give you the shot. All right. Hey.
What's the
Give me
chorus?
volume. Give me volume. Give me
Give us some
volume.
volume on there. Give us some volume on there. Some volume on there.
Hey. Let's
What's that
go.
part where they do that?
Volume.
Yeah,
Volume.
I think
Volume.
it's coming.
Volume.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming. I know.
Oh.
Hey. There we go. Here we go. This is the part.
Okay.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And then there's this one that I have no idea what they are doing in this part. I don't get this
What
part.
are they mashing
I have
together?
no idea.
I would really like
But
some
really-
definition to what that is and what that. Who comes up with these things?
I'm telling you.
But it's so beautiful to look at.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It's interesting.
just understand.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Tewa, let's bring you over to the kitchen because we have something
Yeah.
very, very interesting
Let's
for you to
go.
taste and put
Okay.
inside you.
Okay.
All right, please
okay.
Bring her over.
MM knows how to do it better than us. Oh yeah, how do they do it now? How do they do it? How do they do it? Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I have no idea what we're doing, but hey, feels like we're directing traffic. I don't know.
You, Chef John, got into it as well.
I almost got the dancing steps
Kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen, Tiwa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Chef John.
Yeah.
And this morning you are going vegetarian.
Yes, sir.
Girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So he has made for you chickpeas vegetarian stir fry.
Okay.
Right.
So, looks so
a
colorful.
lot of heart
Yes.
went into that meal, especially with the weather. So please enjoy. Please let us know what you think.
Okay.
I'm
Yes,
sure
so-
you, right now you're somewhere, you're leaping for joy. You're like, yes, food. No, it's just veggies.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's
Not
we are-
with carbs in it.
Do you like? Do you like?
So what do you think?
Do you like?
What? What? Say it.
You can't say it.
No, she's a beauty
expresses
queen. You
it.
do not eat with. You don't talk with your mouth full.
That's
She's a
beautiful.
queen.
Got
She's a
that.
queen.
Well, thank you very much, Tiwa. Thank you very much, Chef John.
Thank you,
Chef's
thank
kiss.
you,
Chef's
thank
kiss.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
100.
And it's been a delight here on the Wake
Yeah.
Up Nigeria show. Thank you to all our guests. You all have been amazing. And most of all, to you watching at home, thank you. We have to go now, people. I hope you have a beautiful day ahead.
Bye.
Bye.